It's on a timer. Boom.
Good evening, everybody. This is Beyond the Buzzer, and I think this is Beyond the Buzzer for September 17th, 2020.
Are
I'm your
you
host, Nick.
sure?
Listen, September 17th, 2020. Stop it, Kyle. For the next 1 hour, myself, and the man to the right of me. Yes, my right, your left on the radio dial. I think what it is. My main man, Kyle Dash, from Three-Point Conversion and the student of the game. We'll go over and talk about all things sports and have a little bit of fun at the same time. For those who've never watched the show, shame on you. But if not,
Right? Get a hold of your life. That's right.
Exactly. For those also who are watching on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, at the same time, you want to talk to me and Kyle, ask questions, say something slick, unless you're Rodney Richardson, go ahead, put it down there low, and we'll take your trolling as well, too. Big shout out to our good friends in the top left corner of my side is Valor. Yes, we know. Valor at its.valor.us for all your wonderful needs when it comes to marketing, music. If you're looking to even make your own GIF, give those guys a shot. Give those guys a shout over there. My main man Jay and the entire crew over there. Also, Mentality Barbershop at 2611 Pine Hills Road out in Orlando, Florida. My main man Corey Lamar, Dio, Lisa J, the entire crew over there. If you're going to get a haircut, by all means check them out. And also, last but not least, to our good friends on Kyle's right hand side, our good friends at I-95 Sports. Also on Zingo TV, if you want to catch the show at any point in time, channel 198 and 199. So if you don't watch I-95 Sports, check out Blackjack TV. They got plenty of good shows, including the show called The Guys, which is on multiple nights a week. Big shout out to those guys over there as well, too. All right, so, Kyle, it's almost that great time of year where people are talking about the baseball playoffs.
What?
But we won't on the show. All right. Now we got baseball talk out the way. Baseball is winding down the stretch. Two teams clinched division titles today. I can't remember. I think the Dodgers and somebody else, but we'll talk about baseball when baseball actually is relevant. All right. Also, for our good friends that are watching hockey, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Islanders are playing Game 6 in the bubble, in the NHL bubble. It's only different because there's no actual video fans there. There's actually nothing there but players. It's exciting. If the Lightning win tonight, they'll be playing in the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, the Lightning's down in Kyle's neck of the woods down in Tampa. If the Lightning win, congratulations. If not, we'll be playing Game 7 on Saturday night. There's nothing better, of course, Kyle, as we all know, than the wonderful Game 7.
Oh, of course.
All right. Now that we got two of the sports out of the way, the WNBA playoffs are going on right now. Phoenix and Minnesota are going down to the wire. We'll keep you updated on that, as well as the tip-off with the LA Sparks and the Connecticut Sun, which will be right around 9:15 if you decide to watch on ESPN2. All right. Before we get into the NFL and college football, let's talk about the NBA.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We are at conference finals time, and guess what? I've said this on every single show every time this happens, and there's a smirking co-host on the other side right now that called it correct again. Kyle, I'm going to go ahead and give you your victory lap as you sip on the wonderful beer of the evening. I'll let you give that shot as well, too. Kyle, go ahead. It's all yours, my friend.
Bowegian's Black is Beautiful Special Brew, and I'm just going to sit right here and sip my dark alcohol-enhanced tea.
Listen, Kyle got it right. All right, Kyle, listen, I said Nuggets were going to win Game 7, but Kyle had said literally since the playoffs had started that the Denver Nuggets were a dangerous team in the playoffs and somebody needs to watch them. Kyle, once again, you have graduated to level 2. You're basically almost at level 1 when it comes to your black belt skills when it comes to basketball. Once again,
I'm going to go that
far. Sir. Listen, you called it. 98% of the country thought the Clippers were going to roll over the Nuggets, and really, when you're up 3-1, guess what? You're supposed to close it out.
That's true.
But Doc Rivers lost a sixth Game 7. When his team had been up by at least 3-2 or more, the sixth time in his career as the LA Clippers looked like the San Diego Clippers. They got eliminated in Game 7 in embarrassing fashion. Embarrassing to the point where Kawhi Leonard and Paul George combined for less points than Jamal Murray did combined. Kyle, when you saw Game 7, what were your impressions?
You know, at the end of the day, I just kind of felt bad for Doc Rivers. Listen, man, I mean, this is a guy that's going to catch all sorts of flack and have a lot of tarnish on his legacy. But can we take a quick moment to breathe and realize that when the Clippers started to become more than just a laughing stock. I believe that was during Doc Rivers' first tour as a head coach, and he's been about and done other great things. This is still a Hall of Fame coach, folks, but unfortunately, that Game 7 is a rough thing. And I'll ask you this, in specifics to this particular example, Danny Thompson, throughout the last few games towards, I'll just call it the choking, as insensitive as that is, this is an accurate description. Anybody notice how Kawhi Leonard seems to do a little bit of load management on his ability to score in that time here in this series? I'm just throwing that out there.
All I have to say is, okay, all right. This is the time where Lakers fans will troll their little brother. It's like the little brother. Listen, but the little brother was supposed to actually beat up the big brother this year, or at least make a fight. Well, for the 50th consecutive year, and I did say 50th consecutive year, the LA Clippers will not be in the conference finals. They're the longest tenured team, not just in the NBA, but in professional sports, that have never made a conference final. It's been 50 years. All right, so it's rant time, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to go ahead and start first. Well, the Clippers were not who we thought they were, okay? The Clippers were supposed to be the team that was supposed to take down the Lakers and basically try to end LeBron James's attempt to win another championship. Well, guess what? LeBron James had nothing to do with this, and cut the conspiracy theories, okay? LeBron had nothing to do with it. He didn't pay a network off. He didn't do any of this. If anything, the Denver Nuggets ruined everything for ABC because guess what? Everybody was paying to see Lakers and Clippers. Everybody was paying to see it. So LeBron wasn't trying to pay the NBA off to make things easier for him. Why would the NBA lose money in a time like this, especially with no fans?
I'd see that and raise you this. How does anybody lose money if it's the LA series and the LA series? Like that's a given. Well, the conspiracy theory should have been, hey, the Nuggets are going to lose just because they want LA in the West Conference, and then the whole thing where they got Boston in the finals against the Lakers. Folks, that would have been the ultimate in greed. Did you see that happen here? No, you didn't. Shut your butt. Carry on, Danny Thompson.
As I was saying, so anybody who wants to play a conspiracy theory, here's the thing. Let's really say what happened, okay? Kawhi Leonard went missing. And Kawhi Leonard needs to catch the same flack as any other star player that goes missing. James Harden catches it enough for when he doesn't play well. Mm-hmm.
He's on the back of my beer can. He's missing.
Yes, he's on the back of a lot of milk cartons right now, including his jump shot. So Kawhi Leonard should get just as much as flack as anybody else, because that'd be LeBron James. That'd be the biggest story walking right now. He went missing, not just in Game 5, Game 6, but also in Game 7. Okay? You want to send the ABP out? Let's do it for Paul George, too. The man known as playoff P. Listen, Paul George turned, his name's not playoff P. His name is Puxatawny Phil. Why? Because he saw his shadow in Game 7. And you know what happened?
And he did it repeatedly, too, I might add.
Including hitting one off the side of the backboard. The last time I saw a shot hit the side of the backboard was at my daughter's basketball game when she was playing with a bunch of small children. You don't see that. Not in the NBA playoffs. You want to know what's missing? No offense. Sorry, Montrezl Harrell. The reigning six-man of the year average of bolstery less than 3 rebounds a game in this series. Okay? You want to say who else gets the blame for this? Lemon Pepper Lou Williams. Yes, I defended you, Lou. I defended your whole issue. And you're not even Lemon Pepper Lou anymore. You're that one flavor that nobody likes. Okay? You turned into black licorice in the entire last game. You woke up in the final fourth quarter when you were down 16 points. Last but not least, I want to give a wonderful shout out to the rest of the team. As they were saying, as my good friend Mark Spears pointed out on the Undefeated, also online afterwards, the players were gassed and asking for timeouts and to come out the game in the fourth quarter of a Game 7. AKA, we're getting our butts kicked really badly by a Canadian and a really, really tall guy that looks like Arvydas Sabonis, part 2.0. Here's who gets the real credit. Give it to Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets. They're more than just Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray is averaging, it seems like he had 40 points in Game 7, Kyle. This is a team that went to Game 7 with the Portland Trail Blazers and couldn't get it done last year. Mm-hmm. So you lose in Game 7 last year, you win 2 Game 7s this year, coming back down from 3 games to 1. So they deserve all the credit. Give credit to Nikola Jokic, finding those guys in the back door. Give credit to the Nuggets defense for shutting down the Clippers in the entire second half. And you know what? Mike Malone deserves a little bit more credit than what he's been given. He's been always the afterthought when it comes to coaches. Now he's in a series. Well, I'll tell you this. He is the best coach in this series. No offense to Frank Vogel, but Mike Malone is the better coach in this series.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I mean,
Cortland said it best. I can't even go get a haircut because I can't trust any Clippers right now. That's why I ain't been to the barbershop. I can't trust Clippers right now. All right? Playoff P, more like COVID-13. All right? Paul George said COVID-13, not COVID-19, COVID-13. That's why he shot in the fourth quarter of that game. 4, like, you got to be killing me. But guess what? On the other side of things, you know what? To make up for a lackluster Game 7, Miami and Boston are playing a knockdown, drag-out 1980s NBA playoff series. Listen, Game 1 was a great game. I mean, we had everything from Jimmy Butler, Kyle, being the third player, Kyle, the third player since the mid-'80s in a playoff game to hit 2 game-tying or taking the lead shots in the same game in a playoff game with under 25 seconds left in any quarter, in the fourth quarter, in overtime. The third player in the history since the mid-'80s. That was domination. But you know what was even better, Kyle? We all talk about how guys are scared to do this and scared to do that. Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum played 25 seconds of what you see on a street ball court when it's 2 guys going at it. Jimmy Butler on one hand went down and scored on one of the best defenders in the entire league. So what did Jason Tatum do? He decides to go at Jimmy Butler. The only difference was Bam Adebayo was standing at the rim and threw his shot down completely. But Jason Tatum almost erased everything because he got the inbound, falls down to the ground, gets up, and launches a three-pointer that just barely missed. The Heat were up 1-0. They're playing Game 2 right now. It is very simple. If the Miami Heat win tonight, they'll go up 2-0. But, Kyle, they'll take the most important thing away from the series, home court advantage. Listen, changing the jerseys means a lot. The changing of the jerseys mean a lot. Okay?
It's true. So, it's true. It's a mentality thing. It's a psychological thing. By the way, hey, I think it's safe to call this a breakout year for Jimmy Butler, right? I mean, we're going to start having that conversation of he's in there at the echelon with the Kawhis and the KDs if he can keep this up, yeah?
I think if you – Jimmy Butler's always been a top 25 player. It just depends on where you put him at. The real question is if Jimmy Butler elevates his team to the finals, let's be honest, he might be a top 10 player in this league. And really, it's hard to rate. It's hard to rate the top 10 as well, too, because no offense to Giannis, no offense to LeBron and those guys, Jimmy Butler's been phenomenal. He might be the best player in the playoffs right now that's playing. That's going against LeBron, that's even including LeBron James. So, you know, you're not technically wrong, Kyle. It's just real interesting to see how this plays out.
I'm not declaring it. I'm just saying it's time for the conversation at that point.
Oh, you're definitely not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. And really, I'll be honest, if Jason Tatum carries his team to the finals, it's really time to put Jason Tatum in the top 15 as well, too. It's just, it is what it is. Guys carry players throughout this entire season. Speaking of carrying things around the entire season, well, the NBA's offseason is last breakout with Chicago. Well, he took over the role from Derrick Rose. He went to Minnesota and actually made them a playoff team until he realized that Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins cared more about Call of Duty than they did at actually working hard.
I mean, I think Cortland's hitting me with semantics there. Like he's talking about him appearing on the mat versus, him becoming that elite guy. I'm kind of using them simultaneously. I'm not here to say Cortland's wrong. That's more on NFL takes that I do that to him. I'm kidding. I'm joking, Cortland. I'm joking. But
listen, no, it is what it is at this point.
No,
but the one thing you have to see in the Celtics and Heat series is the Boston went out and got Kemba Walker for this very reason. Mm-hmm. Kemba Walker he was horrible in Game 1, had a great first half tonight in Game 2. Game 2 is still going on right now, 87-82, 8:31 to go in the fourth quarter. If Miami wins, they'll steal home court and go up 2-0. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. All right, speaking of people who are scared. All right, I didn't want to mention this, but Kyle, let's laugh. Let's laugh. Roy Jones had come out and said he is scared of fighting Mike Tyson right now. You see on the score ticker, yes. Roy Jones and Mike Tyson are scheduled to have an exhibition boxing match.
Thank you. Yes.
On Thanksgiving weekend. All right. Now, mind you, the fight was supposed to be back in September, but it got rescheduled due to basically trying to get people to show up for this thing.
Right.
All right. Now, the boxing council had said this is going to be a exhibition fight. That means no knockdowns. It's more like a glorified sparring match. But when you ask Mike Tyson his thoughts on this fight, he says, Kyle,
quote.
Let's not really quote this time. I'm going to assume what he said. He likes the ability to be able to rearrange someone's insides and organs.
Listen, man. Iron Mike wasn't just a clever nickname, dude. And I saw a video of him in a training session the other day. I mean, he's in his 50s, and he's moving in a way that is still invigorating. I'm not here to put an analogy on it because this is art that you need to see yourself. Listen, take the character man out of your head and all that he may have done in the past. Take the fact that he had a murder mystery show on Cartoon Adult Swim on Cartoon Network or whatever you want. Remove all that and remember him that he was the once elite boxer. Okay. Now, granted, the knock could be made on his stamina. The moment that somebody got past the first few rounds and had enough chin to withstand his hints, i.e. Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, there was a real problem for Mr. Tyson. But listen, you ain't wrong, Rodney. But that's the thing. Take all that out. The man is still a fantastic athlete, simply put, okay? So I can – listen. I don't want anyone to make fun of Roy Jones Jr. At the end of the day, the guy has a survival instinct. He's got a family to think about. I'm not talking trash.
Listen, yes. No, I wouldn't say it either. I wouldn't have him bring it up the spinal incident, which is one of the best moments, one of the best interviews ever.
I mean, hey, whatever the comments are about Mike Tyson, I'm all ears.
The thoughts and views of this show, Mike, if you're watching, they're on Kyle. They have nothing to do with me, okay? If you need me to, I'll send you his address. All right? You can fight me on this one. Listen, there's a video that came out yesterday of Mike Tyson sparring with his trainer, and Tyson almost knocked out the trainer. Okay?
The face he made.
It reminds me of the episode of Martin where Martin was fighting Tommy Hitman Hearns. I feel like Roy Jones' face is going like a flat pancake for this over with. So, all I'm saying is, Mike Tyson's 54 years old. Roy Jones is 51. The only thing I have to say about this, Kyle, before we continue on to football, is Roy Jones has no friends. Okay? Roy Jones has no friends and people that actually care about him. And I'll tell you why. Because, Kyle, let's just say it's just me and you having the same situation, okay? If Mike Tyson wanted to fight you, Kyle, and I understand, it's a exhibition match. Kyle, I don't care how much money you need in life. I'm going to tell you, Kyle, as your friend, you're making a completely dumb decision. Okay? Brian Paul says Kyle gets the boot.
I mean,
listen, Kyle, as your friend, I would tell you, you're making the dumbest decision of your life. And remember, no matter how much money that you get paid for this, I don't know if your medical bills are going to cover it.
An excellent point by you, but here's what I'm forced to say to that, my friend. Like, here's the way I get out of it. I'm like, I'm not going to fight him, but I'll totally do a skills competition involving a blocking sled battling him during the Pro Bowl. That's what you're going to get. Nothing else.
I still wouldn't do that because what happens is go ahead.
I didn't say I was going to win. I just said that's what I do.
Kyle, I have one word for you. Spinal. That's all I'm going to tell you. Because Mike Tyson hit you one time. Your spleen. Because that's what a true friend would say. Exactly. Kyle, I'm not going to let you fight him, Kyle. I ain't fighting for you. And Rodney, you're lying. Rodney, you're lying. Rodney wouldn't even fight Sir Purr, so I know he wouldn't fight Mike Tyson.
Ooh, no, you didn't.
There's not enough money in the free world to make me fight Mike Tyson. The point is this: listen. But Cortland, here's the thing: Mike is not treating this like an exhibition fight.
No,
he's already said he's enjoying the ability to rearrange people's organs. When somebody tells me that, I want no part of that. On top of that, No, go ahead, Kyle.
Unless they work in a music store, I want no part of it.
Listen, I watched Mike Tyson put a shark to sleep in water with his bare hands.
I forgot about that. Real talk, Danny Thompson.
He put a shark to sleep. Yes, even Precious would probably tell us if that was the case, she'd probably tell us not to fight.
Correct.
It's very simple.
Precious, you can start all the trouble you want, girl. That's okay.
All I'm saying is Mike Tyson literally went into shark-infested waters and put a shark to sleep with his hand. Okay? No, he literally grabbed the shark by its face and rubbed it until it went to sleep. A shark. Not a stuffed shark, not Jabberjaw. A freaking shark. Okay?
At first, I was intimidated by the challenge when he said Mike Tyson said that he was scared, and then he goes, "Oh, I mean, come on, man."
He was like, "I was scared." It's called Suicidal by Mike. I don't care what you call it. It could be a fragrance. Yes, Suicidal for men. Good job, Vincent. Yes, Suicidal for men, because stepping in the ring with Mike Tyson, I don't care, 54, 34, I don't care if it's 94. He's stepping in the ring with Mike Tyson. But I could listen, I don't care if Mike's crying. Listen, we can become friends. Mike Tyson's the one person you want as your friend. Listen, there's not enough money between here and Nicaragua for me to even take this fight. Okay?
All righty then.
All right. As I digress and we continue, speaking of fights this week, all right, this is the first week of college football, and there's a real bunch of interesting rankings this week, Kyle. And Kyle, you had an article going up a three-point conversion with UCF, the 14th ranked UCF. Who would have thought that the University of Central Florida Golden Knights would start the season preseason at 14, taking on Georgia Tech? So, Kyle, what do you expect from this game in the middle of COVID season?
Yeah, no, and the thing that's interesting, there's actually been reports, too, about a bunch of COVID stuff going on at FSU. So, I mean, right now, there's so many different things, by the way, that could impact this game even still. Like at one point, there was a worry about the hurricane being an issue. Fortunately, that seems to have passed at the moment. And now there's reports that FSU has COVID rampant on its campus. At this time, it doesn't seem like any players were linked to that, because if that comes out that they were listen, Rodney, I ain't going to mess with you.
Kyle, go ahead and finish your point first. We'll deal with Clemson.
I mean,
we'll deal with Clemson in a second. We'll deal with Clemson in a minute. Go ahead.
You know, I'm sorry. I don't beat a bunch of eighth graders and think I'm Mike Tyson. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, no, but with the situation there, you know, there was a lot of stuff that could have stopped this game, but it looks like it's going to happen, is the point. But I think really this has the makings of a good game. You know, UCF has enough players missing due to opt-outs. They have 10 players. 2 of them were only starters, and one of them was a backup quarterback. So for the most part, they have enough depth, I think, to overcome that. But what makes it difficult for me to read Georgia Tech, Danny, is that FSU O-line looks so terrible. How do you evaluate a defense when the offensive line they're battling, to put it how I put it on the 1-0 show this past week, they made Swiss cheese look like Fort Knox, okay? How do you evaluate how good a defense really is when they're having their way in the backfield? And at the end of the day, Jeff Sims, Georgia Tech's quarterback, still had 2 interceptions. Now, why am I focused so much on Georgia Tech's stats? It's because UCF doesn't have any yet. They got a lot of people coming back. You know, the biggest losses they have are their center, Jordan Johnson, and Gabe Davis as a receiver, and Adrian Killins as a running back. At the end of the day, oh, and don't forget Tate Gowan, one of the guys that opted out. He's now going into the NFL draft as a DB. They still have enough talent at all those positions to still be a threat. The only difference is they haven't played a game yet. So this is going to be very interesting to see. The spread is 8.5 in favor of UCF going on the road. I think that's actually pretty close to about right. I have a 2-score victory for UCF myself. But if it ends up being a close game, I would not be surprised.
Well, here's the one good thing about this. This is called the Georgia Leary Bowl for a reason.
Indeed.
I guess. I don't know what else to say in this situation. Big shout out to our good friend Vinny from Viva Los Bills. They're the show that precedes us on Thursday nights here on the I-95 Network. Check out Viva Los Bills. If you're a Bills fan or you don't like the Bills, go check those guys out. My main man Buffalo Will and Vinny for those show. Great show before us. Big shouts to the guys for checking in with us tonight. So listen, It's not much talk college football this week because it's kind of difficult because guess what? You have the Big Ten playing the game of double dutch with everybody else. Oh, we're going to play. Oh, we're not going to play. Oh, we're going to play. We're not going to play. Well, guess what? They're now going to play an 8-game season starting right before Charlie Brown's Halloween special. Great. Something tells me the Great Pumpkin's going to come out and the season's going to end again.
By the way, Danny Thompson, you remember a while back you thought it was foolishness that the preseason poll included teams that had declared they weren't going to play at the time. Now you see why it didn't bother me so much. They were preparing for some sort of stupidity like this to take place. It's all that simple.
Well, guess what? North Carolina and USCC, which is University of North Carolina Charlotte, will not be playing this weekend due to what's going on with COVID.
Great. All right. More problems for 49ers.
Listen, we're not going to be bad talking the green 49ers. The Red Ones will get to them.
It just sucks.
We're going to get to the Red Ones in a minute. But what I'm saying is,
haters gonna hate. Anyway,
I'm gonna shake it off for the minute.
See, you're still shaking it off. You felt that, Danny Thompson. Don't doubt it.
Listen, I have a 7-year-old. What more do you want from me? All right. So listen, when it comes to college football this week, yes, there's some good matchups. Just know that when Louisiana Lafayette is ranked 19th in the country, you know it's an interesting year in college football when Louisiana Lafayette is considered a top 20 team.
Bruh, you put some respect on them Raging Cajuns, son. Know your role.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
Hey, honestly, listen, as group of 5 teams go, this is one of the better ones. I appreciate what the program's been doing. They play solid in basically every game they're in. Sure, they get blown out by some of like the major programs, but they're in a situation similar to what UCF would have been back in, let's say, the 90s. Okay, they are not the focus of that state. Obviously, Coach Orgeron, see this guy here. He's going to be the focus of that state with the college football programs, okay? And that's okay. But for them to rise up in that situation in the South where football is what it is, gentlemen, please, it's all going to be great.
Listen, don't mention the words rise up on the show this week. Don't do that. All right. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of college football this week.
I try to get away to like not trash on your team, and you're still pissed off. I got nothing for you, Danny Thompson.
Well, no, because I was waiting for Rodney to jump in and say something crazy. Because don't worry.
Stop purring. Hey, stop purring, Tiger. Stop beating up 8th graders, okay?
I mean, Clemson is playing 8th graders. They're playing the Citadel. So they're playing 8th graders this week. So, I mean.
Hey, you know why University of Miami is going to do better this year, Danny Thompson? Because of a quarterback from the American Conference, the one superior to the sorry ACC, which Clemson thinks they're good for participating in. You know how good the ACC is? Notre Dame's going to be 2nd place, and they don't even have a conference in it. Moving on. So,
speaking of the ACC, North Carolina, like I said, 12th ranked North Carolina is not playing this week, and you know it's a rough year. I'm a Tar Heel guy. You see me in the Tar Heel blue tonight. So the Tar Heels are ranked 12th in the country in college football. It just feels completely odd to me right now.
I mean, they could have hosted UCF instead of like completely dissing them, not playing them at all, and then they wouldn't have had this problem.
Listen, they'll know what's going on in Florida. They ain't not trying to deal with nobody coming from Florida. All right.
You didn't hear me. I didn't say come to Florida. They could have hosted UCF, is what I said.
No, they're not trying to come out there and have Florida come. No, thank you. All right.
Make your excuses all you want, Danny Thompson. I'm just saying it would have turned out to have been a better situation for them.
Well, we got 3 ranked games that are not happening this week. BYU and Army is a no-go. North Carolina and UNC Charlotte is a no-go. Houston and Memphis are a no-go. NC State and Wake Forest is now considered to be announced. Got a feeling this is going to be going too. All right, so what does that leave on the schedule? Yes, Clemson does play this week. They're playing the Citadel.
Woo! By the way, that's a team that a 3-9 Georgia Tech beat last year. Just saying.
No, so our good friend Bobby Blackjack up in New Jersey, Notre Dame takes on USF.
Woo!
All right. Yeah, now the game of the week now, I guess, is between Miami and Louisville, two top 25 teams with 2 outstanding, really good quarterbacks. You mentioned Derek King. Derek King coming from Houston has moments in his debut, but he started selling in the second half. Louisville has one of the more outstanding quarterbacks in the conference. That game is on ABC, and you know it's bad when it's a primetime game with Miami and Louisville on the second week of a Saturday season. Other top 25 games, Appalachian State. Yes, good old Appalachian State, fresh off their victory against UNC Charlotte. The 23rd ranked Appalachian State Mountaineers will take on Marshall. Mm-hmm. And Oklahoma State takes on Tulsa. Syracuse and Pittsburgh. Louisiana, like I said, Louisiana Monroe, the 19th ranked Raging Cajuns, take on Georgia State. And the last game involving top 25 teams, Austin Peay takes on Cincinnati. Can we just stop college football at this point? If this is the ranked games on Saturday, just please.
You know, it'll force haters like you and Rodney to understand that the group of five isn't as far distance from the power five as you might think, simply put.
Listen, it could be the group of five, the group of 65. When these are our ranked teams, and there's nothing wrong with the kids that are playing.
But yeah. Make sure I dial back, but I'm going to talk trash. Danny Thompson, stop doing your best Booker McFarland impression.
No, I was doing my best. I was doing my best Paul George impression. I was backing away when the lights come on. All I'm saying is, when these are our best teams right now, you got USC trying to petition to join. Who is USC going to play this time of year? Who is going to play USC right now?
Listen, the U.S. I can tell you why they're doing that is because the Pac-12 is just on a spiral all its way down the drain in terms of prowess. Listen, all the jokes I make about the ACC that are still perfectly accurate, somehow or another, that Pac-12 is going to be worse. Okay, can we be clear about that? They got better things to worry about in their opinions than football. USC, however, thinks they can go back to the Pete Carroll days somehow. You're not going to be able to do it, even if you find a way to petition. I don't know. Maybe they should aspire to join the American. That's interesting.
They could join the ACC. Everybody else is. All right, so
the Pacific team on the Atlantic coast. I love it.
UCF being top 20. Listen. All I know is if Clemson loses to the Citadel, Rodney, don't you show up Monday. Don't you do it. If Clemson loses to the Citadel, you might want to stay away from this show for about a good, I don't know. It's still Tar Heel season. It is.
Yeah, of course it is. They ran from UCF, so they have an opportunity to be successful.
And you're going to stop it as well, too. We will not take Tar Heel slander the show.
You can't handle the truth.
Speaking of what's been going on, especially since Takora's point about the Tar Heels, college basketball will start on Thanksgiving weekend on November 25th. Schedules, teams, and how this is going to work will all be determined later because college football can't get it right. Neither can the NCAA basketball. Don't ask. But they're starting on November 25th. Let's see how this works out. All right. Speaking of things and how they work out, Kyle, it's week 2 of the NFL season, and the NFL gives us a wonderful Thursday present of the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals in the Battle of Ohio. This is why we're on the air tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because this game.
Hey! You put some respect on Joe Burrow, son, because should the Bengals win the day, Browns fans are going to be on suicide watch. Now, granted, as I understand, they're ahead right now, but.
Well, speaking of Joe Burrow, he threw his first NFL touchdown pass after having his first NFL touchdown run last week when he hit Sujay Uzomah for a 23-yard touchdown. And guess what? Listen, Randy Bullock hit extra points. Too bad he missed one last week.
No!
Taylor's football excitement is cute. Rodney, find us in basketball, sir.
Bobby,
find us in basketball.
Put this troll on mute. He hasn't said anything relevant. I mean, listen, you're taking on the Citadel. I don't want to hear from you, Rodney. You're doing your best Alabama impression.
I mean, listen,
I said it.
Listen, you're not wrong. All right, but it's 14-10. Since Cleveland's up in the second quarter at the 2-minute warning, Cleveland does have the ball, and they're inside of Cincinnati territory. Baker Mayfield's touchdown pass to Odell Beckham, thank you in the morning. 43-yard touchdown catch. And when I say thank you, not because I have Beckham on my fantasy team. It's the fact that O.J. Beckham actually caught a pass. I'm sorry. Yes, Odell Beckham. I'm calling him O.J. Beckham. He'll get his name back when he actually does something for once.
Hey, you know what? A tradition I like to do on the shows I'm on is whenever somebody's fantasy player does something, Odell Beckham scores a touchdown. Points for Danny. There you go.
Listen, it's about time because he gave me 2 points last week. All right.
God.
Yeah, because he caught 3 passes for like 10 yards. And like Baker Mayfield was just throwing ground balls to him all week last week.
It's your fault for not playing in the PPR, sir. Moving on.
Listen, I can't make the scoring leads. It was PPR actually. It's a half a point per catch.
Oh, that's lame. Move. Later,
Listen,
man. We got to have.
He had like 10 yards. He had 10 yards receiving. It seemed like. All right, Kyle.
Uh-oh.
We got Bobby in the building.
That would be half PPR, my friends.
Tell him, Bobby Glad.
So it's somewhere in the middle. Still PPR. All right. But one good stat about the NFL is that if a team goes 0-2, it's a 7% chance they have a chance of making the playoffs. So some of these matchups this week involving 0-1 teams could be a predetermining factor of what happens the rest of the season. So, Kyle, let's start with the 0-1 matchups right now. We'll start first with the team that you're wearing right now because they played early on Sunday. The San Francisco 49ers, fresh off signing Mohamed Sanu, take on the New York Jets, who just lost Le'Veon Bell.
Can we move on, please?
All I'm saying is,
do I actually have to evaluate this game?
I feel bad for Sam Bradford. I'm saying I'm not Sam Bradford. Well, Sam Darnold might turn into Sam Bradford when this is over with because the 49ers defensive line are going to beat the brakes off them this week. There is no running game like it had one in the first place. Can you just – I want to know, the NFL schedule makers didn't do the Jets any favors. You get the Bills in week 1, and now you get the 49ers in week 2. The Niners are angry, okay? They lost the home opener to Kyler Murray and allowed DeAndre Hopkins to catch a career-high 14 catches in the first week of the season and Jimmy Garoppolo and company couldn't get it done on offense in the fourth quarter. 49ers by 2 touchdowns. You know what, Ron? You're probably right on this.
I would only say 10 points, but if you got 2 touchdowns, I'm not going to argue with you, Ronnie. Listen, I mean, you mentioned it being a tough schedule. Here's the thing. This isn't like college football. It's the rotation, and it just so happens the AFC East got the best division in football in the NFC West on their schedule this year. You know, don't make it handle the truth. You're wrong.
You're not playing the South. You're not playing the South. All right.
Yeah, that's why I said the best division in the league. Moving on.
It can't cost Adam Gase his job. He's playing a team that's potentially a Super Bowl contender in the fourth. They can't fire him this week.
Cortland, they're going to fire him already anyway. Don't worry about that, Shiz. Moving on.
He did get the kiss of death. All right, yes. Kyle, the Jets have a chance. Do they have the Jets making the playoffs at all? Any chance at 0-2 if they lose this week?
In 2025.
All right. Another battle of 0-1 teams. Now, mind you, this is 2 teams that I didn't think would be 0-1 and going into week 2. The Minnesota Vikings and Indianapolis Colts kick off in Indianapolis in the first game of Indianapolis' home season. Kyle, who you got in this one?
First of all, listen, when it comes to the Vikings, don't rule them out. They're that kind of team that they're very similar to the Falcons in that the moment you count them out is when they start doing really good. You'll agree with that, right, Danny? I mean, so from that standpoint, and no, listen, as much as I make fun of you tongue-in-cheek about Matt Ryan, no, Matt Ryan is a good quarterback. Cousins, anyways. So, yeah, I'll put it this way. There's no reason the Vikings, even all the pieces they've lost on defense, shouldn't be all up in Phillip Rivers' head. I really see the Colts taking a step back. Phillip Rivers is supposed to be a stopgap, and to be honest, if the Colts can find a way to get clever for Trevor, that'd be great. I just don't think it's happening. Listen, y'all done messed up a little too much by getting Andrew Luck out the door. It's a tragedy that he retired in the first place because he got the hell beat out of him. And the last latent detriment on top of everything else, Andrew Luck would have been precisely electric this season. But I digress.
So you're taking Minnesota to win Sunday. Is that what you're saying?
I really am. I listen. There was a time early in his career where I called him Phillip the Fraud Rivers, and I think he's reached that moment again.
Well, here's the thing. Don't sleep on Phillip Rivers. This is a home opener, and one thing that Indianapolis did learn from week 1 to week 2 is that, hey, there's more receivers in the field than T.Y. Hilton.
Correct.
What's going to hurt is the fact of Marlon Mack's out for the rest of the season, so we really have to see, can Jonathan Taylor shoulder the load against one of the better front sevens in the NFL? The good news is that Aaron Jones ran right through them last week like a laxative. All right, so here's the thing. Rivers is going to make mistakes. He do an inexcusable interception last week, but it always happens.
He's a gunslinger.
I don't know if I trust the Vikings this week. They scored the majority of those points when the Packers pretty much have put themselves on cruise control.
Garbage time.
Kyle, I like the Colts in this one, Kyle. I actually kind of like the Colts in this one.
I don't blame you. I'm picking the Vikings, but that doesn't mean I think they'll run away with it. But by the end of the day, no matter what Cousins does, you still have Dalvin Cook and their ability to control that game. I know the Colts front's pretty good, but I'll put it this way. They have enough weapons to worry about, and Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph to get some play action and try to do some balanced work. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron flipping Rodgers. That's why that game went the way they did. And the Packers defense, I believe, played over their skis. I don't think you're going to see stuff like that for the entirety of 16 games from the Packers. And I don't know that you're going to necessarily see it from the Colts. Though, hey, that Colts is the Colts defense is a good defense. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not even mad at you. Go ahead and pick the Colts, bro. I tell you.
Speaking of defenses, the Atlanta Falcons and Dallas Cowboys played each other on Sunday afternoon, and the Falcons last week didn't have any defense. Russell Wilson completely went through the entire defense. Yes, Rodgers actually went like citrus magnesium. They really did. Russell Wilson only completed 4 passes out of 35. It was Correct. So bad. It was so bad that they were going, and Pete Carroll was going for it on 4th and 5, up by 9 points in the first half. That's how bad it was. All right. Going against the Cowboys team that somehow inexplicably lost to the LA Rams on the opening week of the season when they kept feeding Zeke the ball. Here's the thing. This is going to be a scoring fest up and down the field. Here's the difference in this game. Atlanta actually might try to run the ball with Todd Gurley this week because, hey, Dallas has a pretty good front seven. Miami wins 106-101. We'll talk about that in just a second. Thanks, Bobby. Here's the thing. Atlanta's going to score points, so will Dallas. It's really going to be who has the possession, the ball last. The last time they played, Dak Prescott had the ball last and they won. This week, Matt Ryan will have the ball last, and Atlanta will win on the road. I have the Falcons by the skinniest of margins. I say by a field goal. Kyle, what you got?
Yeah, that's not a bad take. Listen, I know the Falcons lost to the Rams, but the Rams have 2 of the biggest, baddest defensive players at their position in Aaron Donald and what I would argue an overpaid Jalen Ramsey. But nonetheless, this is a group that has a fantastic defense. As much as I scoff at Goff, he can make mistakes, and you're going to forget about him because he's going to get another chance. So and give the Cowboys their credit. Zeke and Dak had him in position to win, but with receivers committing fouls down the field and OPIs, what can be done about that? I think crapping on Dallas in this scenario is not giving the Rams quite enough credit for coming out and playing a good opening football game. I mean, let's remind everybody, no preseason. These guys aren't at top form yet, okay? At the end of the day, though, as much as Dallas has improved their defense, the Falcons have too much firepower, man. Listen, for all the trash I jokingly talk to your team, I have never said they can't score.
They can't. Matt Ryan threw for 450 yards last week. And then one interception really counted because Matt Ryan was just trying to throw the ball deep in the end zone, trying to get 2 touchdowns in 38 seconds.
Yep.
Speaking of teams in trouble, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers disappointed everybody in week 1 with their performance against the New Orleans Saints.
So we're calling them in trouble? Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I say it's disappointing because everybody thought the Buccaneers were going to run through the Saints in week 1. Hey, guess what? The Saints, I know I didn't either. The Saints are actually a really good football team. Now, here's the real litmus test. It's Tom Brady. It's the opening game. They're at home. I think there's fans in Tampa because they had them in Jacksonville last week against the Carolina Panthers. The same Carolina Panthers team that ran the ball 4th down with not Christian McCaffrey but a fullback.
Oh, stop it. Get over yourself.
Bruce Arians called out Tom Brady in the media this week, saying that Brady needs to play better. This is the week he plays better, ladies and gentlemen. This might be the ugliest game of the weekend. Mike Evans is healthy, and guess what? The Panthers secondary isn't.
I mean, can we stop real quick here? Like, I'm getting damn sick of these talking heads trying to act like Bruce Arians made a mistake in that press conference. Danny Thompson, angry Tom Brady. Do you want to play against him? I don't want to play against him. Do you?
Listen, all I know is that Robbie Anderson doesn't even know the name of the mascot. I confused him with a bear. That's all I'm saying. This is going to be ugly, disgusting, and this will not be the Jameis Winston interception fest that was last year.
Hey, where's Rodney? Where's Rodney for this game? He got quiet.
The same way that he's trying to. They better not lose to us. Listen, you better not beat them. That's all I'm saying. Because
hey, real talk, Rodney. If the Panthers win this game, I'm going to demand that Danny call your team the Panthers for the entire rest of the month of September. That's only fair.
Listen, I'll have Bobby change my name. As we see Stacey and Danny Thompson at the bottom of the screen, as I pointed to, it will say Sir Per. Okay, that's what I'll change it to. All right, for Monday's show, if somehow magically the Buccaneers somehow lose this game.
No offense, Wanda. I kind of want to see it now.
Of course you would, you troll. All right. That's everything with the 0-1 games, the matchup between 0-1 teams. Let's talk about the games that actually have matchups between 2 teams that are 1-0 and 0-1. Buffalo and Miami. Kyle, what you got in this one?
Listen, Miami's up and coming. They looked improved against the Patriots, but they were simply outcoached, and that's no offense to Brian Flores. You're dealing with Belichick, who's one of the best in the business of all time. Their defense has improved in the way that I would have liked to have hoped. Their offense is still leaving much to be desired because, they got the bearded man from Harvard in the backfield throwing the ball still. I don't know why they're doing that. If they're really that worried about preserving Tua, is he not producing in practice? I don't know. The questions are coming hand over fist here. Here's what I know is Brian Flores took the bold mission, a 5-year mission to seek out new life and new civilizations for the Dolphins and to boldly go where they haven't been in over half a decade, okay? They're not doing it this season, it would appear. I got the Bills. That defense is too overwhelming, and I don't care how many mistakes Josh Allen makes. That defense is perfectly capable of bailing them out, especially against one Ryan Fitzpatrick.
All I'm saying is, as a Bills fan, you need to be worried about the Dolphins corners because they actually have some really, really good corners over there.
Excellent.
But the Bills should be able to run because they should be able to run over because Josh Allen's going to probably have a rushing and passing touchdown.
I hear you, corners, but Stephon Diggs. Just saying.
I'm just saying. That's what it is. All right, Denver and Pittsburgh, 2 teams. Denver lost on opening night inexplicably to a team that ended up losing with missing an extra point. And the kicker for the Titans missed every kick he did except for one when it counts. And
3 field goals, 9 points, son.
And Vic Fangio, arguably the dumbest play calling since the IQ of Madden when you're playing against the CPU, not calling a single timeout and allowing the Titans to run the clock down to let them kick a field goal with 10 seconds left. Now the Broncos get to go travel to Pittsburgh and take on Ben Roethlisberger and company. Here's something that's kind of scary, Kyle. Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben came out this week and said that he felt like he was after a train wreck after week 1. He said his body was in horrible shape and he felt terrible going into this week. I know it's not just saying it's week 1, but both teams are coming off a short week because they both played on Monday night. Kyle, what you got in this one? But James Conner is healthy and he's good to go.
Hey, by the way, that's a great piece of data for take that for data. You're a basketball guy. You'll get that reference. Listen, if it were anybody else but the quarterback, I wouldn't be concerned about that. But I'm even surprised Roethlisberger, I shouldn't say that. Roethlisberger recovering, I have predicted already that he's not going to make it the entire season as a starter. He will miss games at some point. I predicted that. Am I prepared to think that the Broncos can do anything for that without Von Miller? No, I am not. I'm with Rodney on this one. I think the Steelers pull it out.
I like Pittsburgh in this game, but I think Jerry Jeudy will step up after dropping that huge, crucial pass in the fourth quarter on Monday night. All right, speaking of things being dropped, the Philadelphia Eagles have been dropping offensive linemen since the season started. 40% of their starting offensive line was available as the Washington Redskins completed 8 sacks on Carson Wentz in week 1, including Ryan Kerrigan taking over the all-time sack lead. Now you get Aaron Donald this week. Carson Wentz is being beaten up like a technical quarterback when you call the right play on defense. Kyle, here's the thing. The Eagles still have issues on the offensive line, and they still have issues at wide receiver. Alshon Jeffrey's still a game-time decision, and Deshaun Jackson is always game-time, even if he is healthy, because you don't know how he's going to last. Jalen Reagor played pretty good as one big catch in the game, but the Eagles really need Miles Sanders. So I have the Rams winning this game only because of the fact of Lane Johnson and Miles Sanders get back. Lane Johnson's a right tackle. Lane Johnson ain't stopping Aaron Donald from getting that quarterback. All right?
Excellent point, Danny Thompson. Thank you.
Listen, it could be Lane Johnson. It could be Mills Lane. It could be John Lane Johnson, Mills Lane, Johnson and Johnson. It doesn't matter. The Rams, no one's going to be able to stop Aaron Donald getting pressure except for Aaron Donald. And with the Eagles not having wide receivers, that really good wide receivers, which means Jalen Ramsey, as you call him, overpaid, can be able to step up and do different things offensively. I like Malcolm Brown in the backfield. I like the Rams by 7 going into Philadelphia because Philadelphia has no crowd advantage. What do you got, Kyle?
Hey, I'm not brave enough to say 10 or 7 like you and Rodney, but I do think the Rams can win this football game. And let me be clear about something. Just because Jalen Ramsey's overpaid doesn't mean he's not a damn talent. Listen, I have a little bit of predisposition against corners. They're more prima donna than receivers in my mind. I'm just saying. All
right, speaking of things that are overrated, the Bears' week 1 was overrated.
Definitely.
The Bears for 3 quarters got smacked around by the Detroit Lions before the Lions went lion. Mitchell Trubisky.
And you aren't lying.
Yes, but Matt Patricia was lying to himself when he thought they had week 1 in the bag.
Yes! Way to take that for a dunk, Danny Thompson.
3 fourth quarter touchdown passes by Mitchell Trubisky. No, not Jim McMahon, not Jay Cutler, not even Sammy Baugh, but it was Mitchell Trubisky. Yes, that Mitchell Trubisky, not Kyle Orton, not Randy Orton, not even Bob Orton.
Not even Van Brocklin.
Listen, it could have been Staley the Bear, but Mitchell Trubisky throws 3 fourth quarter touchdown passes, and also the Bears survived because DeAndre Swift thought of football. I don't know what he thought the football was, but dropped a wide open touchdown in the Bears' victory in week 1. What we learned is that the Mitchell Trubisky saved his job for a few more weeks. They're going against the New York Giants team that actually tried to run the ball, attempted to run the ball, and couldn't run the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. Thank you, offensive line, for costing me a fantasy victory because Saquon Barkley had less yards on the ground than I did. He had 6. We scored the same number of fantasy points on the ground this week. Now the Giants have to go into taking on Chicago at home. The Bears defense is ready to tee off on Daniel Jones. Kyle, what you got in this one?
You know, as much as it leaves me feeling awkward to declare that the Bears will be 2-0, that's exactly where I am. Granted, by the way, side note, folks, go ahead and invest in Hallmark stock because there's a lot of people giving DeAndre Swift Christmas cards from the state of Illinois in the upcoming season. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, Danny Thompson, that defense is enough to subdue the Giants' offense at their central point at the quarterback and running back position. Listen, Saquon's going to get his because he's just an amazing athlete. He's the best a man can get. See what I did there? But what I'm trying to tell you is this, folks. I could talk trash on the Bears all day. They have a tradition, a fantastic defense, and they're going to play it in this game. I got the Bears.
2 words, Khalil Mack. All right, That's all I have to say about it. All right. In the battle of the team, speaking of the Lions, and boom, they go to Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the highest scoring team in the league, the Green Bay Packers. The one team that you thought was going to lead the league in scoring, and week 1 was not the Green Bay Packers. The Packers not only scored 43 points, but they did it against the Vikings on the road. Aaron Rodgers turned back the hands of time and looked like the gunslinger Aaron Rodgers that was around for the majority of the last decade. Now they take on the Detroit Lions that allowed 3 touchdown passes to Mitchell Trubisky last week. The Lions have Adrian Peterson in the backfield, but the problem is Matt Patricia's not smart enough to give him the ball enough. Peterson was running all over the Bears defense and proceeded to only give him 14 carries in week 1. Kyle, do the Lions stand a chance in this one?
No.
Even with the potential return of Kenny Galladay.
No, not at all. And especially with what we saw from the Packers defense. Listen, I told you that they couldn't do it for 16 games. That doesn't mean I don't think they can do it against the Lions.
Well, if you're playing fantasy football, watch Allen Lazard, wide receiver of the Green Bay Packers. He's going to be asleep this week in fantasy because with the Lions being beat up in the secondary, Devontae Adams can't catch 20 passes again this week, can he?
Hey, don't rule it out, Chief.
All right. Speaking of Chiefs and not enough Indians, the Baltimore Ravens go to Houston for a 425 matchup with the Houston Texans. Listen, the Ravens are still scoring on the Cleveland defense because Cleveland had no defense last week. Lamar Jackson actually, when they say looked like a real quarterback, actually was completing passes to shut everybody up last week. Mark Andrews caught some touchdown passes, but Kyle, they got 2 rushing touchdowns from J.K. Dobbins, not Mark Ingram. Kyle, the Houston Texans in week 1, well, they have the most rest of anybody. They're playing a game on Sunday after they lost in the Rain Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1. Now they get to go home. Do you think that David Johnson and Deshaun Watson and company can do something against this Baltimore defense?
They can do something, but it's not going to be enough. Here's the thing about the Baltimore Ravens, Danny Thompson. You got to understand that Lamar Jackson, say what you will about his passing ability. If you want to underrate it, cool. At the end of the day, no matter how bad a passer you think he is and how wrong you are about that fact, he can still control the clock with his legs. And that group can do a whole lot to keep you off the field as long as humanly possible. They're very uniquely built to battle a team that can score quickly. Let's say Kansas City Chiefs. But at the end of the day, that's not who we're talking about. Deshaun Watson will not be on the field very much, I have a feeling, and that'll be enough for the Baltimore Ravens to make it look relatively easy.
Ravens, I have the Ravens by 10. The defense is going. I think the defense or special teams will get a touchdown on Sunday. Something tells me a pick 6 to be coming.
I'm glad you brought that up because Chris Jones of Kansas City exposed that guard like Janet Jackson in a halftime show at the Super Bowl. Okay, you got to look out for what's going on. If you're Houston in that offensive line, your guy Deshaun Watson is still at risk. I don't care if you have Laramie Tunsil.
2 words: Calais Campbell.
Boom.
All right. Now, speaking of teams that were shockingly week 1, we got Gardner Minshew and the 1-0 Jacksonville Jaguars versus Ryan Tannehill and the 1-0 Tennessee Titans in the early game on CBS. I don't know if this is the game of the week, but guess what? It's going to be entertaining. Gardner Minshew only incompleted 1 pass on Sunday, 19 of 20 and almost perfect. Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans couldn't do much of nothing. Besides the fact of Derrick Henry doing most of his damage in the first half, the Titans looked terrible in week 1.
They really
missing
did.
Field goals and just was playing like the Tennessee Titans was before Ryan Tannehill took the job. Kyle, listen, the last time we disregarded the Jacksonville Jaguars and threw them away, like on the clearance rack, they were one series away from the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that Gardner Minshew is anything like, I don't know, Blake Bortles. Does Jacksonville have a chance to win this one, Kyle?
Well, listen, because it's a divisional matchup, it's always interesting between these two. But listen, I'll put it like this: it's the Titans game against Denver was odd because I felt like they looked kind of, air quotes, bad throughout Monday night. But then I looked at the stats and they're better than I thought. They did get 9 points swiped from them off the board. They were moving the ball. They just couldn't finish the job when it came time to kick the ball. And that's Gostkowski's fault, obviously, right? So from that standpoint, listen, special teams is still a part of the game. Jacksonville has a chance, but I'm not brave enough to pick them. I got the Titans.
Listen, Derrick Henry always somehow loves running against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He makes a killing. He made all his money running on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
True.
It's not 150, 20 yards. It's 99-yard touchdown runs on Thursday Night Football. I am wearing Titan colors tonight. So listen, I'm not going to pick against Tennessee tonight. But listen, Uncle Rico might have something up his sleeve, and the Jacksonville Jaguars go 2-0. That's all I'm saying. I got the Titans, but I think the Jaguars will keep this thing close throughout most of the day. And something tells me the Titans defense and Jadeveon Clowney will make some kind of play in this game because Minshew is only going to be as good as Minshew can be, but he's not 19 and 20 against his defense good. So I got the Titans in this one. All right. In a battle of 2 teams that were not supposed to be undefeated going into this game, the Arizona Cardinals at home against the Washington football team. Listen, the Washington football team was down 17-0 to the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're thinking, man, new year, same old foolishness. But not this team. The Washington football team, who's a career record of 1-0, took advantage of being known as the football team in week 1, and they defeated the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 27-17. Listen, Dwayne Haskins was a game manager. Peyton Barber got 2 short touchdown runs. And the Eagles, he made the Eagles offense look like what they thought they were. Kyle, can this defense go over to Arizona and dismantle and take apart Kyler Murray after the super impressive performance he had in week 1 against your 49ers defense?
No. Listen, and I mean no offense to the Redskins, but let's put it this way.
They're the Redskins.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Put some respect.
I didn't mean to say. I meant to say Red Tails. Thank you, sir.
Put some respect on that football team name, sir. They're
Red Tails. Red Tails. Okay, thanks. So the Red Tails had a particular set of circumstances break their way. Let's be simple about this, okay? Most of the O-line was decimated for the Eagles, and say what you will about the Eagles offense, they have 2 good tight ends and a receiver that's hurt. That Arizona group, that's a great prediction, Rodney, by the way. That Arizona group, forget stacked, okay? I know some militias for small countries that don't have this many weapons. Don't come at me with the Red Tails on this one. They're getting shot down. I got the Cardinals.
You know what, Kyle? I'm going to take Arizona.
Don't do it. I'm warning you.
I'm taking Arizona, Kyle. But all I'm saying is it would not shock me if Chase Young chases down Kyler Murray a couple of times this game.
Oh, look at that.
Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin hook up, but the key guy to watch in this game is a guy that used to play quarterback that's playing tight ends, Logan Thomas. a big target at tight end. I'm just saying. If Washington somehow does something here, wouldn't shock me, but I'm taking Arizona because DeAndre Hopkins is going to quote Al Bundy, going to run through Washington like grandma through a herd of cattle.
Hey, you put some respect on Kenyon Drake's name, sir.
I think Kenyon Drake's will be fine. I think you'll have about 80 yards rushing and 50 yards receiving because he'll get some catch on the backfield as well too. I think Arizona should win the game, but it wouldn't surprise me if the football team goes 2-0. That's all I'm saying.
Football team, the Red Tails.
No, they're the football team.
Red Tails.
The Washington football team is undefeated. So until they lose, they're the football team until they lose.
Yes, the Red Tails are undefeated. Correct.
They're 0-0. All right, other late game out in Los Angeles. The Chargers get their home opener at SoFi Stadium on Sunday. After can they compete? Can they do what the Rams did in Week 1 and win their home opener at SoFi? The problem is Pat Mahomes and company's coming to town.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. By the way, they don't have their starting safety, Danny Thompson.
By the way, I don't know what's about to happen. All I know is that the one good thing about this game is that this will be the loudest crowd that the Chargers will have all season. Listen, I don't know what more I can say about the situation, but Kansas City's going to score a lot of points and score a lot of them. If you're playing anybody, if you're trying to stack players in fantasy football, get as many Kansas City Chiefs as possible if you're playing DFS on Sunday. Because guess what? They're going to score points. They're going to score a lot of them. Tyrod Taylor's run at quarterback might end in listen, it could happen.
50.
Tyrod Taylor's ran quarterback might end because the Chiefs might end up pounding him into Justin Herbert starting. This might get to the point where Justin Herbert makes his season debut in front of nobody.
Another first we're seeing here, Danny Thompson. I think the comments section was rougher on the Chargers than we were. Oh, my God.
Listen, I mean, all I said was that, Rodgers got to have something to cheer about.
No one said they were wrong. I'm just saying that's what I saw.
Sunday night is the battle of two undefeated teams. I promise you, when I saw this, the build-up for this game, the players they were building up with are no longer existent. The New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks will open up. They will play Sunday night in Seattle's home opener, and they kept saying, "Oh, this is a rematch of this game." Listen, Tom Brady doesn't exist. This is a different team. This isn't the Super Bowl. This isn't the AFC Championship game. This has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. But what this does is this is Cam Newton's big chance on national TV to prove that number one, he's still the quarterback in this league, and number two, the Patriots are for real. You're going against the Seattle Seahawks team. Listen, they played the Atlanta Falcons last week, but here's one thing that if you didn't watch the Falcons game, which most of the country didn't, what you would have learned is Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner cover a lot of space individually, but together they cover double the space. Jamal Adams or Bobby Wagner seemed like they were on every single tackle, combined or separately, throughout the majority of that game on Sunday. Bobby Wagner had more pass breakups than Hunter Hurst had catches on Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Jamal Adams was everywhere on the field. Why did Todd Gurley not run the ball so much? Because guess what? Those two heat-seeking missiles were sitting there. Now, what does this have to do with the price of tea in China for this game on Sunday night? Listen, Cam Newton only threw 19 passes at a complete 50 of them, pre-style stats. He's still getting used to his receiving core. This is still not his same team he's had, and I'm not sure if the receiving core is as talented in New England as it is in Carolina.
They aren't. Let me help you. They aren't.
But Cam Newton did look good running the ball on the ground, and the Patriots defense was still one of the better defenses in the league. But Kyle, I already know where you're going, so I'm gonna let you talk about why a certain team's going to win Sunday. So I'm going to give the floor to you, sir.
First
Go ahead,
of all, Cortland, for as much respect as I have for you and you declaring me your spirit animal, you take that trash that Cam Newton isn't good out of this house. Even a homer like Danny Thompson knows that that's ridiculous, okay? Moving on. So here's the thing. I do like the Seahawks to win this game, but what I like about the Patriots is they're going to do something that I don't think a team has effectively realized about the Seattle Seahawks. Keep Russell Wilson off the field. And no team is better equipped to do that right now than the New England Patriots. The one thing they got working against them is if they played Seattle in week 1, it would have been a bigger surprise. But now they know what to do against a team that's going to run. I'm not saying this to diss Josh McDaniels, but you see an offense like this more in the college ranks that's dominated by the run as they were than you do the pro ranks. Again, that's not talking trash. That's just the state of the league. And listen, 15-19, no, Danny Thompson. He should have been 16-19, where his alleged best, at least most experienced receiver, dropped the first pass at Cam Newton freaking throw. Yes, I'm still bitter. Moving on. So I'm not.
And Kyle doesn't play fantasy football, by the way.
No, Kyle does not play fantasy football anymore. Listen, I put in too much time to research it. I haven't played since 2008, where I won the season and retired on top. I was John Elway. Beep, okay? Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is this, folks. Mock me all you want, dude. Listen, that's okay. I got a wife and 2 kids. Come at me. Anyways, no, but this game isn't going to be a blowout simply because of the style of these teams. Whoever wins is going to be close because a lot of their work is done on the ground. But Seattle has something they haven't traditionally: a respectable wide receiver core and a guy that you've learned to fear as a Falcon fan, Danny Thompson, Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen's going to be the key to victory, and no matter how much they control the ball with Cam Newton, they're going to get a lot of points to prevent whatever the Patriots can do in this thing. And hey, listen, keep your head up. You're playing the Seahawks. This is a playoff caliber team.
I actually like New England this game on Sunday night. And here's the reason why.
What?
Here's the thing. You made some good points. The one thing that was a little bit alarming in week 1 about the Seattle Seahawks was Chris Carson struggled to run the football, and I'm not sure if Chris Carson's 100% healthy right now.
Did you see the 2017 season where Russell Wilson should have been the MVP?
Listen. You're asking me why I'm picking New England in this game.
My bad. I'm bitter about Russell Wilson not ever getting MVP votes. That's my problem, dude. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, there's no localness over here, Bob. Sorry, I'm not local. Where I am
even the protection staff's going after you, Danny Thompson. This is mutiny.
Here's the reason why I think New England wins this game. Number one, Cam Newton always plays when the lights are on. It's a situation where Cam Newton has something to prove. Also, at the same time, it's something Bill Belichick has to prove, that he can win a big game without Tom Brady. Week 1 was the Dolphins, okay? It's the Dolphins. The Patriots have owned the Dolphins for years, okay? It is what it is. It's like the same folks who play Monopoly and buy the same properties all the time. Yes, it is what it is. But Cam Newton has not played a nationally televised game like this at this level in years. This is the time for Cam Newton once again to show himself. I think he does get a rushing touchdown. I think he does help control the clock. Remember, Cam Newton is bigger than the majority of players on the Seattle front 7 anyway. He's a hard guy to tackle. Sony Michel will have more holes to run because guess what? You have to defend the run. James White will get out and catch a couple of passes here and there. It spreads the defense out. Remember, when you have a running back and catch the ball, it takes away Bobby Wagner from doing that, which guess what? Allows Julian Edelman to run free across the middle. Edelman does his best damage going across the middle, and that's where Bobby Wagner does most of his damage. But because James White is really good on the outside, you got to play that to a factor. Belichick and company is going to run the ball to keep your point, to keep Russell Carrington Wilson off the field.
My man.
He's going to keep him off the field as much as possible. If Chris Carson can get 75 yards on the ground or more, Seattle wins. But because the New England defense is so good, I think they shut him down. And then you remember, you got Stephon Gilmore locking Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf. When everyone gets fired, Stephon Gilmore is going to shut it down, which means I think Russie will make a mistake at the wrong time of the game. It's going to be unforced.
I think that's the boldest prediction.
I have New England 21-17 on Sunday night in Seattle. It's going to be the best game of the week, also the most entertaining game of the week. But this is the game that the Patriots make a statement to say, hey, listen, we're not Tom Brady. We're not the team we were last year. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl contender. I'm not saying that.
No.
But they're going to say that we're not a pushover this year. And I think this is the statement game to do it. I like Cam Newton and company. No offense against Seattle.
No, not at all. And side note, you made a face when I pointed out Greg Olsen earlier, and then you come out here and talk about Stephon Gilmore. Why do you think I think Greg Olsen's going to make the difference, homie? That's the one guy that I think Stephon Gilmore's not going to try to cover.
Well, you know what, though? But at the same time, the Patriots linebackers can still cover. And the thing is, with Russell Wilson, he didn't really look that much for Greg Olsen last week. Now, mind you, the Falcons, because Deion Jones is one of the best cover linebackers in the NFL. The Patriots defense can cover. The question is, remember, Seattle made most of their damage throwing the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Gilmore will take away one side of the field. This is not the Atlanta Falcons secondary that Russell Wilson will be going against. It's a completely different secondary. All right. And guess what? That defense has principles. And guess what? More importantly, Kyle, the Patriots tackle.
Hey, and listen, if they shut down Greg Olsen, then I think you'll be right. We'll leave it at that.
I'm not worried about Greg Olsen.
Your face isn't worried about Greg Olsen, Danny Thompson.
You're right. You can look at my face right now. If Greg Olsen is the determining factor in this game, it might be 2 touchdowns.
That's look at this haterade. Stop it, Homer.
No, there's no haterade. Speaking of Homers, the final game of the week, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders open up their home season inside the Darth Vader Dome against another dome team. Yes, the Darth Vader Dome against the New Orleans Saints, another dome team. All right, a lot of people expect the Saints to be 1-0, but a lot of folks didn't expect the Raiders to be 1-0. Kyle, the Raiders ran up and down Carolina last week like Sir Purr was doing in the stands with nobody around.
Stop it.
Now they're going against New Orleans defense that's a little bit better than Carolina with playmakers on all 3 levels. Can the Raiders win their first game in Vegas?
In a word, no. In a word, no. That that's New Orleans defense is going to be the difference maker. Listen, I know you got Drew Brees and Kamara doing amazing things on the offensive side. Now that he's got his contract, he is invigorated in a way that I was even surprised to see against that Buccaneers defense, which that defense is awesome. I don't care what you say about Tom Brady, okay? They're just better on both sides. The Raiders need to just a lot of things to break their way. If this were a later in the season matchup where Drew Brees had time to get tired, maybe I'd entertain this. But it ain't, so I'm not.
What I will say is the Raiders have one chance to win this game. Michael Thomas is healthy. He didn't look good in week 1. Drew Brees couldn't find him. But the one thing was Jared Cook looked really good catching passes last week, on top of the fact that Emmanuel Sanders was doing work as well, too. And an early part of the game, which was real interesting, was they got Taysom Hill involved in the early game, whether it be a couple catches, and then I think they threw a wide receiver, a pass with him at the same time. So if the Saints come out there, when the Saints go out there, Cameron Jordan and company are going to cause pressure. Derek David, Austin, whatever car they're driving it, Nissan, Toyota car is going to be driving back there. Good one, Cortland.
That was solid, Cortland. Don't let this hater drag you down, Cortland. That was awesome.
What I do say is I think the Raiders will not win this opener. I don't know if it's going to be a complete 14, 17-point blowout that a lot of people are thinking. I think the Saints win. They cruise. They'll get a touchdown late. They'll win by 10 points, but the Raiders will make it closer than what it is. But I just really worry about the Raiders, especially down the field with Henry Ruggs. Is this going to work down the field? Because I think the Saints are going to get their hands. And Josh Jacobs will do the best thing he can, but they're going to sack 7, 8 in the box and make them beat them through the air.
Hey, Latimer will take care of Ruggs. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, but the thing is, Lattimore struggles with speedy receivers. It's been known that he struggles. That's why when Atlanta plays New Orleans, they prefer Calvin Ridley to go one-on-one with Lattimore instead of Julio Jones, because Ridley's a faster wide receiver. Just so happens that faster receivers just do better against Lattimore, because Lattimore at times his lateral quickness is not where it should be. And when you have speedy wide receivers, it does make a difference. Now, the difference last week was Chris Godwin's a speedy receiver. They made sure that Mike Evans was the guy being guarded on Marcus Lattimore last week, which is a complete different story. Physical receivers are a little bit different, but speedier receivers do more damage. All right, Kyle. Speaking of doing damage, it's also time for our favorite part of the show. And yes, I know we're going longer than normal. It's an hour and 30 minutes because of the NFL. It's a college football.
The NFL. That's right.
And that's what it is. But talking about doing damage, Kyle, it's time for our favorite part of the show. It's called Mount Rushmore. For those who've never seen this show before, shame on you. And no one's ever seen this part, shame on you even further.
Right.
Kyle and I do a segment we call Mount Rushmore every single week. And no, it's not about butter.
Hey, parquet for the win, fools.
I don't know if anybody can drink and talk about 4 different flavors of butter anyway. But what me and Kyle do is we take a topic and we give our Mount Rushmore, which are top 4 in no particular order. But if we're going to be on a monument, these are the 4 we choose. The best part about the topics is Kyle has no idea what I'm even coming up with.
I do
until I actually say it. Whew. So Kyle. All right. we have talked about a multitude of things in our lifetime here on the show, and Kyle and I, we talk on a a pretty consistent basis. And Kyle's a good guy. We're both fathers and everything else in between. But Kyle, sometimes we disagree about a few things, and tonight we might disagree on this one as well too. So Kyle, all right. So Kyle, speaking of bringing the heat, Kyle. So we talk about food all the time on this debate, and guess what? We're probably going to go back to food again tonight. Yes. We're both it is what it is. So, Kyle, here is tonight's topic for Mount Rushmore, Kyle. Tonight, since we're talking about food, and we did desserts on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kyle, tonight's Mount Rushmore is Mount Rushmore of breakfast foods.
So, doing my best rock impression. Listen, you don't understand how big a breakfast fiend my wife is. We damn near had a wedding early just so we could have the reception feature breakfast food. Okay? Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you, Danny Thompson? Now, there's a lot of directions you can go. I live in the South, so I'm exposed to breakfast food in a very special way. Because there's just a very unique way to do it in the South. And I'll leave all of it at that. I have a very particular taste for breakfast. I do things a certain way. So you don't have to agree with me. I'm going to do me. You do you, Danny Thompson. But I bet at the end of the day, we're going to be a lot closer to hugging than I think you think. Anyways, I'm going to go off the bat here. It's not the right. Darn right. Anyway, so at the end of the day, I'm going to lead off with something that I think is an essential, right? Hash browns. That's right. I said it. Hash browns. And bonus points if they're coming from McDonald's. God, that's a beautiful thing. Hash browns are an underappreciated side breakfast item that do not get a lot of love. I'm going to lump them in because they're all potatoes with home fries. You can argue that as two separate things, but
we'll say same conference.
Exactly, right? It's like, they're allies, okay? So, I'm going to lead off with hash browns on that for sure because, listen, they would hit a lot more threes than Kyle Kuzma did for the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. Am I right, Danny Thompson? Anyways, I see zero argument from my compatriot on that particular point. Next up, listen, guys. The one thing that completely irks me about Chick-fil-A, forget about their, political leanings or whatever. They're closed on Sundays, which is when I'm most available to get breakfast, and I can't get me a chicken biscuit. That ticks me off to a great extent. Listen, the fact that they're closed on Sundays makes no sense to me because God should want to bestow me on the holy day when I'm giving him worship a chicken biscuit. Okay? I'm putting the chicken biscuit on the Mount Rushmore. I said it! Wow, that was pretty angry. Anyway, next up, listen, man. I'm going to go ahead and say that I know people want to put eggs, and I know people want to put bacon, and I know people want to put sausage. I'm going to put the food that can give you all of that at once and make your life a very special thing. Omelets belong on the Mount Rushmore. And folks, I don't know if you've ever stayed at a hotel or enjoyed a cruise or anything like that, but when they have an omelet station, you get your beep up and you go. Okay, I've been in a scenario where I was at a hotel for a Mother's Day weekend at the beach to take care of my mom because my mom is great. Okay, and they had a little station where they were making omelets. The chef went over to the prime rib station of the brunch, chopped up prime rib, and put it in the damn omelet, Danny Thompson. This is how versatile of food the omelet is. You're making a face, but listen, it made me feel ways. It made me feel ways I can't talk about on this show. And I'll leave it at that. Omelets belong on the Mount Rushmore. And Danny's like, oh, really? He says. And listen, I'm slow to round this out because there's a lot there, man. There's so many honorable mentions for breakfast food.
Listen, we're talking honorable mentions. We'll get to honorable mentions in a minute. But continue.
Yeah, no problem, man. I feel you. I feel like I can't go with cinnamon rolls this week because I did, or this session because I did on Monday. So, listen, at the end of the day, when there's something that I see on a breakfast menu that I must have, orange juice. You got to have a drink with it. If you don't have orange juice, I mean, that's the foundation argument right there. Okay? Listen, if Michael Jordan wants to play on your team, you say yes. If orange juice wants to be a part of your breakfast, you say yes. Okay? I got orange juice, hash browns, omelets, and oh snap, what was the other one? Damn it, I'm blinking. I knew this was going to happen one time too, because you give it to me from the hip, I just start going and I lose my place.
Omelets, orange juice,
hash
what was
brown,
the other one? Hash browns. Beep.
Exactly. Damn it, Bobby! Did you hear? I don't know.
What was the other one? Chicken biscuit.
Chicken biscuits. There we go.
Bobby, what you got up there?
I'm gonna regionalize this a little bit here. I'm gonna go with.
He's gonna say bagels. Watch.
Number one, top of the hill breakfast food in New Jersey is Taylor ham, not pork roll. For all you fakes down in South Jersey and Philadelphia, Taylor ham.
I don't even know what you were talking about, Bobby, and I still felt like you were throwing lots of shade there.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna regionalize this. Number two, cold pizza. Cold pizza and a glass of milk is a fantastic breakfast. Number three,
honorable mention.
Another probably regional thing is probably the best ones like pizza. The best pizza is up here. The best bagels are up here.
See, I told you he was going to do it, didn't I?
Bagels, especially Taylor ham on a bagel, my favorite sandwich of all time.
How do you feel about lox on bagels, Dan or Bobby?
Nah.
Okay, just checking.
And number four, let's go with 90% of the items at Taco Bell. Taco Bell makes an underrated breakfast menu.
Really?
Almost everything on Taco Bell is delicious for breakfast. They should sell it all day long.
He said 90% of the menu. All right, that's good.
So, right. Bobby, I haven't tried it yet, okay? But one of these mornings when, like, I've lost a will to live and I need a pick-me-up to go to work from home here, what's the thing I should order off the Taco Bell menu?
They have, like, this steak crunch wrap.
Okay.
You can have steak, you can have bacon, or you can have sausage. But the crunch wrap, I believe, it's been a while, but the crunch wrap is their number one item.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
All right. So once I do mine, Bobby, go ahead. If people in the chat also put theirs up there once I finish mine. So, all right. So Bobby had his. Okay. So here's the issue I have with both of you guys' list. There's two items that are on the list that both of you guys have completely disgraced and dissed at the same time.
Well,
and I'm very disappointed.
And I accounted for it in the omelet, if you remember correctly.
Damn it. Now you got me cursing. All right. First and foremost, bacon is the team captain of breakfast foods, okay? I don't care. Ham comes from bacon, okay? Sausage comes with bacon. It's all part of the family, but damn it, bacon is the leader in the clubhouse, okay?
No question. No question.
All right. You can't listen. The only bacon can be made. You can eat, some people eat completely crunchy, some people completely soft. Bacon is bacon. You can't mess up bacon, no matter what kind it is. There's different flavors of bacon. Damn it, bacon is bacon. Bacon is life. Yes, that's number one.
Some people like their bacon like the Ravens, and some people like their bacon like the Clippers, soft or crunchy. It's okay.
No, bacon always shows up in the clutch, not like the Clippers. All right. Number two on my list. All right, I'm going to go a little different on this one. I'm going to take this one different. I'm going to leave the other disrespectful one y'all left off the list for probably the end. Because I might rant for this. I'm going to have to go with French toast.
Oh, see. Oh, no.
Listen, French toast is a little bit ahead of the pancake and a little bit ahead of the waffle because it's a little combination of both.
Stop it. Oh.
Listen, French toast is freaking fire. French toast, you can make cinnamon sticks out of. French toast is fire. Uh-oh.
I'll give you one thing. I was in New Orleans. I had challah bread French toast. It was damn nice. And I'll leave it at that.
Bobby?
French toast is dessert.
French toast is dessert.
And Taco Bell's not breakfast.
Oh, no!
We will not do this. Not on this show and not on Barack Obama's internet. We will not do this tonight.
That's a better answer than I thought he had. I'll give it credit. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I never heard somebody say, you know what? After this wonderful dinner, let me go get some French toast. I never heard nobody say that.
Hey, my wife is capable of that. Again, breakfast fiend. But moving on.
All right. Listen. All right. We got the French toast. You got the bacon. All right. Listen. Like I said, if I wanted to put sausage on the list, but I already got bacon. So I don't want to stay in the pork family a little bit too much, but bacon is an all-star. All right. Breakfast foods. Now, the hash brown. I'm feeling the hash brown on this one. But Kyle, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hash browns are a little off to me. But what I will say is not off. Listen, you like the omelet? Give me some scrambled eggs. All right.
Okay.
The omelet does its damage, but give me some good old scrambled eggs. All right. Scrambled eggs with some cheese. You can throw different types of cheese in there. You can even throw the meats in there and then just do a scrambled egg wrap. One of Bobby's things over at Taco Bell, they have a bowl with scrambled eggs and cheese, and they throw different meats in there. So you can do the same thing with omelet. It's just a little different. It's not wrapped in a fancy little crepe. Okay.
No one's going to diss you for saying Red Auerbach was a good coach. I get you.
All right. Now, here's the other one that I found disrespectful. And this one's the one that might just get me to listen. Neither one of y'all put grits on the list, and damn it, both of y'all should be fired for this one. Grits is on the list.
Nah. You're wrong. Okay?
I'm wrong?
Yes, you're wrong. Okay? Because grits can't win a championship without a proper supporting cast. It cannot carry a team. Grits by themselves suck. You go to New Orleans and get some shrimp and grits with some champagne and a brunch.
Listen, grits are the perfect setup, man. I'm not asking grits to be the superstar. It's the Magic Johnson. It does everything. It goes with everything.
If it's not a superstar, it doesn't belong on goddamn Mount Rushmore.
It does. Magic Johnson's one of the 5 greatest players of all time.
But he is a superstar.
And so is grits. Grits can control. Man. Grits can listen. You can go grits with cheese. You can go grits with all types of, like you said, shrimp and grits. You can go bacon and grits. Grits go with everything. Now, here's the issue I have with grits. If anybody on this air says anything about putting sugar in grits, you're fired. Don't you even do it. Sugar and grits is damn near disrespectful. It should be oatmeal at this point. Grits are not supposed to be freaking, cream of wheat. It is grits, for crying out loud. Yes, if anybody in the chat wants to say this to me, fight me out back. Okay? The same way I felt about lemon cake last week is the same way I feel about grits, about all grits with the exception of the ones that people put with sugar. If you are, listen, your taste buds are about as bad as the folks that eat at freaking Church's Chicken. All right, your taste buds are worse than that.
Don't go after Church's Chicken.
I'll go after it. I'll go after it the same way as NFL teams go against the Falcons pass defense. I will do that, sir. All right, and I will do that on a regular basis.
Church's Chicken has a lot more substance than the Falcons defense. What are you talking about?
No, they're just as greasy and slimy as the Falcons trying to tackle somebody last week. All right. About as bad as watching the Carolina Panthers on Sundays. They're probably worse.
As he's wearing
Church's
colors right now.
No, I'm wearing Tennessee Titans colors. North Carolina
Tigers. Saying that, but I hate to tell you, but
yes. Boy. Listen, WAP does not even count in this. WAP has so many different meanings. Waffles and pancakes, yes, they're definitely on the honorable mention list.
Both WAPs are honorable mentions for breakfast. Holla at you, boy.
Yes. Walnuts and plantains. Them too. All right.
Correct. Absolutely. Walnuts and plantains.
Walnuts and pecans on my waffles and pancakes are great. All right. But what I'm saying is, if anybody puts sugar on grits, you should be punched in the throat. Okay. I'm talking straight up Hong Kong Phooey Hassan chop right in the throat. Okay, Bobby, I want to know if anybody in this group chat, or any other social media says anything about sugar and grits, because I would like to flame them on air right now. Say it now, forever hold your peace.
So far, so
Bobby, don't you? All right, good.
Good. Okay.
Bobby, do we have anybody talk about breakfast food in Mount Rushmore tonight?
Cereal.
Get boo this man.
Who said cereal?
Cortland, are you trying to hurt your spirit animal? What are you doing, boy? What are you doing? Now my house messed up because you said cereal.
Now hold up. Now, Cortland, you get a chance to redeem yourself. Is the cereal Lucky Charms?
Oh, stop it.
I'll let Corley answer that if he's still watching. If it's Lucky Charms, then he gets a free pass. If he says anything like Raisin Bran, you're the weakest link at this point. All right.
Listen.
Okay, you know what? If that's the case, then you know what? Then I understand that. All right.
Then he shouldn't be talking about this topic if he can't live in the house. I'm just saying.
Lucky Charms it is. So, Cortland, you get back in the house with this one, sir.
Yeah, not mine.
All right, but hey, Kyle, any shots? Here we go.
Hey, listen, man. Thanks once again, all the guys in the comment section. Whether you're a troll as big as Rodney or a wise man gone wrong as Cortland, listen, we talk all this trash. We love having you guys in here. You definitely make the show more fun, and thank you for your arrival. And hey, listen, if you don't like some of my takes on your takes, at the SOTG on Twitter and Instagram, the Student of the Game on Facebook. And hey, listen, check out my preview of UCF heading to Atlanta to battle Georgia Tech on the 3pointconversion.com. That's the number 3 if you're typing it out. Danny Thompson.
Bobby, any shots? Where we go?
I just want to mention that we can now watch all the programming on 95 Sports Network and Blackjack TV on our websites. The player is up.
So that means you could look at our beautiful mugs on TV as much as you like.
Yeah.
All right. But big shouts to everybody who tuned into the show tonight, every person in the chat room. Vinny from Viva Los Bills, like I said, Cortland, Precious, Rodney. Yes, Rodney, you too. And everybody else who chimed in tonight. Like I said, it feels like we're going to go hour 30 during NFL season because it's just really hard not to talk about so many games because college football is college football this year. Like I said, big shouts to my colleague, my tag team partner, my main man to the right, to the right, me, the student of the game. Been rocking with this thing for a while, like I said, and it's always blasted with him and his randomly outtakes of humor everywhere. But check out all of Kyle's work. Check us all at the 3-point conversion. Like I said, Cortland and I and Kyle's a part of the group with Raphael, Controversy Raphael, my main man, L.A. Broadus, Ab Stanley, Alan Fields, Karita Parks.
In stereo, baby. Woo!
Malik Jackson, Eric Urbanez, Alex Babb, who doesn't write, but he's a super editor of everything and make sure all our work is out there on a regular basis. Damian Adams, I think I'm missing somebody in this whole thing. Big shouts to Mike Patton as well too. See, I'll miss the general himself.
How you forget the general?
Because he helped me out with car insurance this month. Oh, all right. Nah, that's my main man, Mike, down in Nashville. But big shouts to everybody who tuned into the show tonight, like I said. And yes, normally I close the show with Arrest the Killers for Breonna Taylor. And guess what? I'm still going to say it again. Yes, there was a settlement this week involving Breonna Taylor's family to the excess of $12 million. That's a great and beautiful thing. You know, no amount of money can ever bring a loved one back. So for the city of Louisville for doing that, listen, it is what it is. You can't bring somebody back in $12 million for as nice as it is. It does not stop the fact of Daniel Cranmer have not arrested the 3 officers that murdered Breonna Taylor, shot her boyfriend for no apparent reason. It's great that we have a law named after Breonna Taylor. It's great that we have a civil case, but let's start with the criminal case. These 3 officers have not been arrested. They're still walking free and still walking the streets. 2 of them are on administrative leave. How does this work? I'm going to continue this until her killers are arrested and behind bars, not suspended until they're arrested behind bars, because we have to stand up not just for people themselves, but like I said, it's for Black Lives Matter and also for Black women as well too, because they're not spoken up for enough when stuff like this happens. So it's time to be done. So I will continue to keep saying her name until this is done. But on a different note, for myself and Mr. Kyle Nash, Mr. Bobby Blackjack up in the studio in New Jersey, and everybody for watching the show tonight. It's going to be a great night for all of us except for Boston Celtics fans because y'all are down 0-2 with the Heat having home court advantage on the Saturday night. So for myself, Kyle, all Boston Celtics fans, and Cleveland Browns fans, LA, the Browns are winning, baby. The Browns are winning. They're beating the Bengals. We'll see you guys on Monday night for Beyond the Buzzer. Peace.